4. Now, let's discuss the cost of dialysis. Ladies and gentlemen, our viewers, you see, in the International Society of Nephrology, we recognize that the cost of dialysis is huge. Most people that start dialysis die within 3 to 6 months. Sorry, I don't mean to scare you, but that's just the fact. Why do they die? They die because of lack of financial support. Now, where do they die the most? In developing world, especially those countries where there is no dialysis support. Let me tell you, let's in Nigeria give you an example. In most centers in Nigeria, Lagos, Ibadan, Abuja, Ondo, anywhere, Kano, Kaduna, what do you have? The cost of dialysis, if it is not subsidized, ranges between 50 and 70,000. And you have got to do 3 in a week and 12 in a month. So let's do the math for our beloved people who are watching us. We're discussing the cost of dialysis. So let's take an average of 60,000 per session. So 60 times 3.
60 times 3.
180. 180 times 4, making a month.
Yes.
720,000 naira per month. Now 720 times 12.
8.6.
8.6 million naira. A whopping 8.6 million naira. Now let's divide that by 1,350 naira. Let's assume that the dollar is now 1,350 naira. How much is that?
$6,400.
That's $6,400 you're going to spend on yourself per year. Now that excludes the cost of transportation to the dialysis center, the special food you have to take, the cost of blood enhancers like erythropoietin, the cost of antihypertensives, the cost of anti-diabetic agents if you are diabetic. Just imagine that. Sometimes you're going to get sick, malaria, typhoid. So that's huge. So in a month, this kidney patient is likely to spend around 1 million. So I usually tell people, kidney failure prevention is better than cure, is cheaper than cure, is safer than cure. So what does it cost you to drink water? Nothing. What does it cost you to avoid smoking? What does it cost you to avoid HIV? Discipline.
Yes.
Because you are sleeping around with girls, sleeping around with boys, you are at risk of HIV. And there's what we call HIV-induced kidney failure. What does it cost to avoid hepatitis B, hepatitis C? These are viral infections that eat the kidneys. What does it cost you? Same thing, discipline. You have your own hair cutter, your own hairdresser, whatever materials you females use. You know, what in some cases is not the person's fault. You go to a private hospital where you have trusted them to give you the right blood, but then some of them cut corners. They don't screen properly, and then they end up transfusing you with infected blood. That is not your fault. Okay, fine, a girl was raped. That's not your fault. But there are instances and many times where the fault is ours. We have the knowledge, we know what is good and what is bad, but we keep indulging. So the more you indulge, the more you're at risk of kidney failure. A man came to my clinic some 2 years ago. The wife forced him to come. He was obese, he was diabetic, he was hypertensive. And after we had done the cardiovascular panel, I gave him a prognosis. I said, if you continue with this lifestyle, I doubt if you last 6 months. He died exactly 6 months. Because he didn't obey, he didn't comply. It was very painful because he left behind a wife who became a widow and many children who became fatherless. And then he left for the woman lots of body to carry. Please, let us do our best to live long. Kidney failure is preventive. and the prevention is cheap, safe, and better than cure. The cure is not desirable. Now, for kidney transplant, currently in Nigeria, you spend between 30 and 40 million per transplant. And then to maintain it per month, oh my God, you'll spend another set of hundreds of thousands of naira until they begin to tail off the medications. So there's hope for those who have end-stage kidney disease, but it requires a lot of finance. So the treatment ranges from prevention, lifestyle adjustment, dietary changes, identifying your risk and avoiding them or managing them, and then using your medications. If you're hypertensive, if you're diabetic, you must switch up your medications. And then it comes now to, if the patient has end stage, what can you do? Dialysis, and then kidney transplant. So that's not about the treatment.